So here we have a KOMOTO M1100. I already did the one repair on it, didn't really record the video, but it wasn't turning on. It ended up being a bad controller, so that got replaced. So now I noticed another problem when it was brought in by the customer, that it's got loose somehow. So we're going to repair and tighten this, which we've shown before. But basically it's going to be the front headset collar. I have no idea how it got loose. Sometimes people just ride them rough. This thing does look like it's been crashed a few times by seeing what's on it, so that also plays into the role. So we're going to get it all fixed up here. So we're going to remove the fender here. Both sides, you remove the reflectors, because we're trying to get to the point here to actually repair it. It's kind of a pain in the butt, just due to the stickers and some of the other stuff going on. A lot of times too, the hardest part too is relining up the brake caliper and things like that. Sometimes I leave the brake caliper on and see if I can slip it off with the rotor and everything. Other times I do have to actually fix it. So that's the downside. So, pretty sure this is 17, and then use a 14 on the back. Yeah, it's 17. Gosh, talk about being tight. It's that Loctite. You know, they have the power edge to save us a little. Yeah, this isn't always the easiest. All right, on this side, I have to put this here. Holy cow, that's really tough. Whoa! What the fuck? Excuse my language, but it's normally not this difficult. And that's what I'm going to try to do here. So I'm going to try not to touch the brake caliper. See if I can slip this off, but usually can't. Yeah, it's not going to with the tire. We made the attempt. Thought I could be lazy. Obviously, it's not going to happen. So we're just going to remove the brake caliper here. Or not. Wow. That shit is tight. We'll leave it for now, but woo, talk about tight. This thing must be just driven in the salt. A few other things, I have no idea, but that is a little too tight. All right, so we're just gonna remove the tire for now. Looks like they've been keeping not the right tire pressure in it, because it doesn't look like it's wearing even. That's people. Next part's gonna involve me removing stuff up top here, so we're gonna move up. So now we're up here. I removed all the screws around. Didn't really pay to show that. So we're gonna loosen this up. It actually lets me. I'm gonna pull this off, okay? We have to do this because we gotta run the wires down. I'm gonna pull this, disconnect this, get rid of this. I'm gonna loosen these here, take off the brake cables, and then move forward because we have to pull everything through in order for me to tighten this. So that's what our end goal is, and that's what we're trying to do. So we're gonna pull these off here. Get the rubber grommets out. Undo the folder. Alright, so we're gonna pull this through. And then this is everything. Alright. Normally too, I have to remove this fender. Forgot. Reason being is so you can pull the wires down. A lot of times when these scooters are designed, a lot of them have like pieces of plastic in other areas to keep other areas clean, like preventing water from getting up in there, preventing dirt, grime. A lot of these scooters aren't as waterproof as people claim to. You know, even their version of IP66 is not really much of anything. Alright, so we got that. So now we're going to pull the cables through. Alright, so we're going to work our way down here now. And I'm going to pull all these cables through. Okay. The thing that we're trying to do is we're trying to tighten this. What we have to do first though is we're going to loosen these two in the collar, so then that way we can tighten this, but we'll see if this loosens up. Usually when it's loose, it's so easy to do, it's kind of scary. So we're going to look into that and see what happens from there. So let's see what happens here without loosening the other stuff. We're just trying to see. Oh yeah, see how loose that was. That was our problem. I didn't even end up loosening the collars, so we're going to take the Loctite here. And this is such a common thing on scooters where the front headset gets loose. They just don't put any thread locker. Too much is bad. I probably pull a little too much, but I really don't want to deal with this in the future. You know, there should be no reason when you're riding around and shouldn't people pulling on their handlebars back and forth and things like that. And just improper riding. And I mean, it's hard to say what proper riding is too, because every person's gonna, you know, be different. Wow, I can't believe how much I just tightened that. Let's just see here. Is there no more? Oh, there's still play. So, let's see what happens here. Don't want to over tighten, but at the same time, I'm not trying to have this have any play in it. Look at that, it's gone. No more play. Didn't even have to tighten anything. All right, for just security measures, sometimes I like to just do one little extra tightness. Because with time, they do kind of get looser. You know, it happens. But look at that. Now we're not running into this situation here where this is being loose and now we're tight again. So that's what we had to do there so far. All right, now this ridiculousness, trying to fish this stuff back through. I always recommend using the smaller cable. I mean, not the smaller cable, but the wire that isn't the brake line, because it doesn't have as much durability always. And it's kind of a pain in the butt. Sometimes you get really lucky, other times you don't. So, and this was a lucky moment. It usually doesn't always go that smooth. You know, and then you push the spring up, you can see the zip tie here that locks everything. Oh, I cannot believe how smooth that went. It never goes that smooth. You also want to make sure you get the brake lines right, things like that. So, I don't even know what's what. That's right. So, it's throttle. So this one goes on this side, I believe. It's always difficult with this crap. And then, like so. Be careful with wires always when you're working on any of this stuff. Sometimes you're just 2 seconds away from wrecking everything. It's like doing any repair on any device. Alright, so now we got that. So we're gonna go to the next bunch of steps, see how this works out. If I actually can get the tire back on easily, or if it's gonna be a pain in the ass. I have no idea. Because it's all about trying to fish this around here. I might have to remove the brake caliper. So, but we'll see from here. All right, we removed the brake caliper. I didn't record any of that because it was just a complete pain in the butt, because it's so Loctited and seized and everything else. Sometimes these scooters get a little bit older and people ride the crap out of them. I mean, this one's got a lot of miles on it. This person uses it a lot. So it's like their transportation. So, you know, and I put them together with all this Loctite when I work on them. And, you know, sometimes the Loctite, yes, it's safer, but at the same time, when you want to do any repair or work on anything, it can just be a fucking nightmare. 'Cause I put every single one of these together. I put the tires on, I do all the shit. So it keeps up the quality control and keeps up less problems. Because if I would sell them how as is, I'd be out of business. There's no freaking way. No one gives a shit anymore when they do anything. It's the biggest problem with the world these days, is no one cares. Everyone just makes something half-assed. So I made money later. It's one of my biggest problems. So, and you can see here with the reflectors, we'll have to put the tape on and other shit. But I'm just doing it one piece at a time. This tire really should get some air in it. I'll check it over. Do the brake caliper here. But got a fender in here. But at least I was able to tighten that front end. It's not what the scooter was brought in for. It was under some warranty work. Had a malfunction with the motor controller. So, which, you know, no electronics, America, China, anywhere in the world, nothing's perfect. And also, too, the design on this stuff isn't that complex. So, like, you can't be expecting some Apple iPhone moment and expecting that you're going to have this highest quality interaction of your life when, you know, you're not paying that much for the item. You know, it's a big thing with consumers, is they don't seem to understand how much money you're spending on an item to what you're getting out of it. So, sometimes things work out in your favor. Other times you're just like, okay, what am I doing? It's a great example with this fender here. You know, it's just you got all these pre-done mounts and all these little holes and little screws holding it in. It's kind of frustrating at times. So when people ask me when I'm working on scooters and what we charge and our insurance, everything else, they don't seem to understand that it's not as easy as 1, 2, 3. You know, there's a lot of tasks out there in life that aren't so good, and there's not a lot of training on electric scooters. You pretty much, if you can't figure it out yourself, you know, you're not meant for this career field. Plain and simple. So, let's see here. All right, let me get the fender on, and we'll go from there. All right, looks like I finally got it lined up. It's one of those moments where I just wanted to scream because it just didn't work out. Well, now it's, you know, these screws and how they may design this, it's a lot of variance for gappage. I don't know if it's the right thing, depending on how you tighten the fender too, it like moves I always try to check it, make sure it's quiet. And then I always try to like go around and make sure these are all tight, because these will come loose over time or some other nonsense. Usually they're pretty good though. I haven't had too many problems over the years selling these scooters. I mean, been selling this version now for, gosh, 3 years, 4 years. Had some updates, but this scooter's the most bulletproof scooter in my opinion, because I got ones with 10,000 miles and they still work beautifully. So, you know, sometimes keeping it simple stupid is where it's at. A lot of times people don't seem to realize that with all this complex stuff, you know, it comes at a cost. You know, more issues, more problems. Oh man, did I lose the screw? No, it's right here. These little screws. I'm usually a little bit more organized than this. Usually have a magnetic tray out. But I wanted to tighten that. I wasn't gonna send that loose. But then we'll put some reflectors on and then tighten the brakes, and then we're good to go. But that's just kind of the basic rundown of how this happens. How we tighten the front collar in here and fix the headset. So just wanted to show you. All right, well, out to the next time that we show you the next repair that happens here at Komoto.